How's it going, guys? Crystal Crow doing one last video before I take off across that Atlantic to go to England and France with the fam. I'll be gone for a week. Probably won't be making any videos. Might send some photos. Might not. Don't know. See what I can find. Maybe I'll find something for that 350 contest. But welcome to the Crow's Customs Corner. I'm starting to get it what the C's are narrowed down to. Thanks very much for popping by. If you've come over from something else, if this is your first time coming to one of my videos, hope you stick around and find something you like. So today on the TCCC, I'm going to be showing you guys my end result winter, not end state, but the end result of all the stuff I was doing with my winter Arctic Trooper Sci-Fi variant that I decided to make using my own little in-state concepts. And I mean, if you've seen previous videos where I was working on it, I explained, like, I have these pieces from Loki Wartooth, one of our friends to the channel. Like, he's my 3D print guy. He sent me, and I was like, this has to be a science fiction character. And then it was like, I'm going to make this into sci-fi. I wanted to use this head. If you're going to make a sci-fi, science fiction-y type of Joe, like character, Joe, it's got to be sci-fi, right? So I gave him this whole cybernetic thing. Anyways, but the real draw of it was I was trying to find reinforcements for a character I have been dying for the longest time. My good old buddy here, Snow Job. One of my favorite figures, it seems, in the line now. Every day I look at him, I'm like, they got it right? Like, so simple, so good with this figure. But he was the only Winter Joe on the shelf, right? And that's not right. It's not. When Desert Commando Snake Eyes came out, he at least had Dusty waiting in the wings, ready to support him, right? Like somebody else in that enviro where poor Snow Job got left hanging for too long, if you ask me. Too long with this unaddressed. So, you know, the Crow. I was just talking to Loki today. My V2 Stalker stuff is coming. It's a big old kit. I'm going to slap that all together and present my take on the V2. Well, my V2 Stalker. I am doing an Arctic Commando Stalker, right? And I'm not going to make it, oh, it's dark in this. It's, I want to do it right. But so that was one reinforcement I went out of my way to plan thoroughly and discuss for like a month with Loki and get it on the go. But you'll see that after I come back from my vacation. It should be at least on the way in the mail from what we're saying. And I don't see it taking me too long to present it. But who else did I bring them for reinforcements? I'll bring the camera up here, guys. And if you like my conversions or my figure reviews or just my general talk about Joe, because I got some things I want to talk about Joe today, really quickly. News that we got. Then you go ahead, you hit that like. Ain't nobody going to stop you, and nobody going to make you. However, if you are wondering why you should subscribe and hit that notification bell, just remember, I switch it up all the time. I love to have some creative chats with guys, and I am doing live these days. Plus, I got that 350 contest with a growing prize pool, which I'm hoping to grow a little bit more, but we are at, what was it when I checked today? Just over 310, and I really am excited because we are getting close, guys. Yeah, so thanks very much. Hit like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about the Crow. Crazy old Canadian vet that might be on to some of its wacky theories. Anyways, the next one I made for the winter one was my Scarlett variant. You know, the Widow Scarlett, as I say, where she, you know, she's more about avenging Snake Eyes than anything. So I keep Timber near her side, and I used the what was it? It was the Balvath, whatever Star Wars figure I bought in one of my you know, the videos where I show you where I got my deals from that day. That's her legs and boots. That is a Snake Eyes Origin Scarlet upper torso and arms, which, you know, I am having a fit issue with those. I know how to correct it. I wanted to get this done because I got to go to a hat that was provided to me by Loki Wartooth on her back, and I will turn her around, but this rifle was one of the ones that I got at Michael's craft shops of all places. But that back is the Snake Eyes Desert Commando back, and then a sword of his that I just gave a little dry brushing to kind of frost it up a bit. And I liked the Snake Eyes Origin Scarlet, but I had not too long ago managed to get my used original classified line Scarlet, and I have my retro Scarlet on the way. And I wanted to at least find a better, more unique place for that head sculpt. I really like her head sculpt, and I like the figure overall, and I was really happy with how the hat fit on her. And she does have her crossbow. It's over here. I just Arctic version it up, right? Oh, it's just another repaint. Yep, it's just another repaint indeed. So guys, before I show you about Sci-Fi, I do have one more Arctic soldier that you guys saw me starting. He is on the way, but he'll be done when I come back from my vacation as well. But Blizzard is in his final phases of getting complete there with the mask. We just got to finish the nose piece, finish the paints on the upper body, and then some of the kit. And that the reason I'm kind of taking my time with him. He's the one, by the way, I did the Uzi for, because that is iconically Blizzard's Uzi. I couldn't get around it. As much as I'm sick and tired of Uzis, the man deserved his. So I got that for him. But I am taking my time getting that one ready, because there was some kit that I had ordered with the Stalker stuff from Loki, and he's got a really good selection of stuff, guys, like an amazing selection of stuff. He'd be at that catalog all day. But I ordered some extra winter kit, and Blizzard's going to be the recipient to some of that. So I wasn't in a big rush to get him done till that order is done once I thought about that. So who did that leave on my list? Well, I've talked about the Wolverines on the live and things like that. Thanks again to Grievance for that Red Dawn suggestion. I'm really happy I got that on the go. And, you know, like I said, there's going to be somebody else out there that tackles the Red Dawn, and they're going to do a fantastic job with premium quality parts, figures, you know, ordered pieces from established companies like Gridiron Studios or somebody, right? That ain't the Crow way. Crow showing you the budget way and seeing what he got, right? I wouldn't call it the budget way, but I am showing you maybe a more achievable way for some of us, right? I don't have some of the facilities and tools and time or knowledge or, you know, background in computers that some of these guys have. And if I had, maybe my products would be wild like some of theirs are, man. I get bowled over by some of these things, especially King Beast, man. Now that's just raw talent and paint, man. That's not. But anyways, I digress and I'm rambling. I am what's the word here? I'm always amazed by it all, and if anybody just came along and started doing this after seeing one of my videos, please show me yours. I just want to celebrate the idea, honestly, for that Wolverines thing. That is not my idea. That's Grievance's idea. It's just my paintbrush right now. But I would love to see others. You know, it's a worthy idea, and I have some others to go with it that I think are worthy for my shelf too. Now, I don't take ownership over anything that's out there in the creative lore, especially when it comes out of a discussion with somebody. That's how great things are made, guys. And consensus all the way. All right, so enough. Shut up, Crow. Show us Sci-Fi. Okay, you've seen some of it. You knew I wasn't happy with it for a little while there. I wasn't happy with how the greens had worked out or any of that stuff, and I still had to do some other stuff. I'm a bit more pleased with it now. I find it fits a bit more now, even though, yeah, I get the scarf is a little offsetting, but it was I explained in another video what the theory is, right? He's trying to look as less off-putting as he can be because he's pretty dependent on that armor in this variation of a Sci-Fi, right? You know, just some lore I made up to justify the figures I was using and why, right? You know, that's how the Crow operates, right? So let's just get that camera back and up. I wish I had a better angle on some of this, but I'll move him back a little bit so you can see. So yeah, as discussed, I'm not entirely sure the origin of the leg pieces that I was using for this character. I showed you in another video how I got him through a value village. He had some really cool parts, and his articulation was actually really good. So I suspected he was something along the lines of an Apex or a Fortnite, or another figure line that is probably really well known against veteran collectors, but not at my introductory knowledge, right? So I stripped that down. I retained the arms from that same figure because I was really fond of these hands. I'm just going to remove the helmet here. These hands were phenomenal because they have a separate trigger figure. Like they have the trigger figure, but they have the open and close. Pardon me, not the separate trigger, but I thought the trigger figure, no, the trigger figure isn't separate. It's just the hand opening and closing. It's an extra point of articulation, right? So that's why, I was able to, pretty simply put things in his hand and he can hold them. Unlike like when I try to get Grunt to hold his steel core helmet, sometimes you have to kind of wedge it in there. Sometimes it might spring out when you thought it was in there. Not such a concern here, but more importantly, because I built a custom laser cutting weapon for him, I wanted him to have I had to really think about that handle grip and how I was going to attach it because, being scratch built and converted, you didn't want it popping off, right? Sorry, I'm just playing with the camera here, guys, to try and get it all in shot. There we go. You don't want your handle grip popping off because you found a weak glue point and you weren't very great with the application or anything like that. And that is basically, 30 to 50% of what I put myself through half the time. I guess that camera's just not going to get any better there, guys. So we'll go back. Yeah, so having the hands and being able to open and close, it gave me a little bit of breathing room with that handle apparatus whenever I figured out what that weapon was going to look like. And that was really just a kit bash scratch build. Make a large laser cutting weapon. That's all I wanted. I don't see a sci-fi character as a, get in the firefight like every other infantry kind of guy, nor do I necessarily see him as a sniper or long-range fire support. I see him as whatchamacallit, a very specific tool that would have to be brought in, brought into the job or the task at hand, as an you'd have to request him specifically and have the reason on hand as to exactly why you would need an asset like that attached to you. It's that kind of an asset, right? Because of the amount of what would you think, right? Like classified or top secret technology that's warped into the armor that he wears, and the weaponry that he's using is all experimental and OPSEC kind of stuff. Yeah, it would be that kind of justification for it. So anyways, there you go. There's my train of thought on how he would be attached. So he would kind of show up as an individual, and this would keep people from freaking out and making Iron Man jokes, right? Well, I make Iron Man jokes because, I used the War Machine torso under there for one, because the shoulders were fully compatible with the arms, and the torso I had from here, I didn't want the whole figure to be used. I wanted to try my hand at kit bashing a few different things to just try and do it down. And I learned some cool lessons out of making this connect, like where to shave a joint down, how to go about things and everything like that, right? So invaluable experience when you're learning how to do conversions. So the helmet, I'll bring that up here. I'll show it on my pinky finger. And I'll tell you about something that I saw. Okay, 2 things we want to talk about today because this comes up. I'm going to bring this into the light for a moment. By now, as I pull my tablet across the room and sit down from you, I will try to manipulate the light so you can see this helmet a little bit better, perhaps. And now I got to switch hands because I got to get my tablet. By now, if you have not seen, you can go and hit the Googles. Beggeth thy internet for photos of the Night Force Ram and its rider, who everybody on, it's Chad, started with Bobby Vala there tonight. I was on live when I heard about this. Right away, everybody went, it's Steel Core Rider, right? Because they were talking to Bobby Vala on live. So just talking Steel Core instantly means he's got his attention and his feathers are getting a bit ruffled, like not in a bad way, but just like this is a hot topic, guys. It's a hot button topic, right? So all of a sudden this comes out today, and it is a Night Force Ram that is coming, and so therefore Walmart and Hasbro Pulse probably, but it is not a Steel Brigade rider. It's not that, guys. This is apparently the word is that this is Shockwave for Night Force, right? And if you look, he's got that double barrel shotgun thingy. And then he's got a drone that's being included from the old Firefly set. But you've got some Night Force markings on there, and you definitely got a Shockwave vest, and you got a dark character. But yes, they have given him a steel core helmet because they are acknowledging that that could be a troop build, right? And people are like, oh, like some people get all up on arms, and I'm like, hey man, just because you don't see what you want to see out of that bit today doesn't mean you're not going to see something out of it tomorrow. You have seen a photo of this. Hang on. See it from other angles. There might be some stuff worth mentioning in it. And I know it seems like I'm, kind of giving Hasbro more than what they deserve, because that seemed to be the question tonight too, right? What does Hasbro do for you now? They know what they did for you then. They built your childhood memories, as Aaron said tonight, gave you good childhoods, but what do they do for you now? And I was like, well, right now they give us access to that nostalgia we felt back then, 30, 40 years later, and they are brilliantly doing that psychologically by, one, keeping us in high anticipation to see all of our favorites over what, a 11-year spread, 82 to 93. And then on top of that, they are trying to keep it within the achievable price points of their most lucrative demographic, really. And guess what? That ain't the 25 and under crowd, pals. Sorry, you guys have money in your pockets, but it's not all disposable. It's all the guys that were 10 years old in 1982 or around that bracket. That's the market. They know they're going to fleece those motherfuckers. Us motherfuckers. If you don't believe me, where's your Hiss tank? How big's your collection? Right? Come on. How many other lines did you start collecting after you started collecting Classified? How many Valiverse do you have? Because they're linked, right? Come on. What Hasbro does with us today, these days, my answer to that question, and shout out to his chat if he ever sees this episode. But my answer to that question is they keep you connected to your youth in a way that very few toy lines have been able to successfully do the way Hasbro Classified has done. Between the retro line and this line, there is a dopamine release that happens when you buy a new figure. It is amplified when you have a deep personal connection to that figure. Whether you acknowledge how deep it is or not is different. But if your first reaction is to reach over and go, I had that guy, that's part of it, right? If your first reaction is to say, I never had that guy, that is also part of it. I've never seen that guy. Also part of it. Seen it when? When you were a kid, motherfucker. Right? This is what Hasbro does for us now. Not because they love you and they want you to feel good consumer. No, they are doing it because psychologically it is the easiest thing to do, but this is the time to do it. If you don't do it right now in this bracket, you miss that market. They have 11 years starting from basically when Classified starts, 11 years of product to cram in on a much more competitive toy market. So what, 5-7 years, right? And they're competing for our money now, but it's a bigger dollar. So yeah, as to this is the time to do it, but that's what they do to us. That's what they're doing for us now. They perpetuate that excitement in a way that only really serves them. However, they know how to manipulate that excitement based on our threshold knowledge of Joe's and our memory through childhood. Don't believe me? Minute 33:23, I believe it is, of the Hasbro Pulse release. I have not seen anybody talking about this yet. Not on its chat, not on Punk with Toys. If I saw it, I miss it, but I'm going to bring it up to you right now as I show you my steel core converted helmet and carry on with that. Just little spinning bass. These great prizes, Bob, are brought to you by... Okay, but no, none of them are talking about minute 33:23, I believe it is in the video, when Lenny and Tony are joking around after having just shown and discussed the kit for the Night Viper, or not Night Viper, pardon me, Night Thrasher? Night Shot? No. God, what is that thing called? Shadow Tracker? No, Shadow Tracker is what I did. Oh my God. Night Thrasher? Night Thrasher. Hang on a second. I am going to get this because, guys, I know exactly what it is I'm trying to get across here, and I'm seeing if I screenshotted it. Night Creeper? Is that right? Is it the Night Creeper? Yeah, anyways, they made a crack to each other. Oh, all they're missing now is a leader. And then there was a pause, almost like they were putting on a little play. It was just humor. It was slid under the table. It was just a joke. But they were like, hey, Night Creeper leader, right? Let me go to Night Creeper leader and remind you that there is a Night Creeper leader character. And what they've basically done is just given you another possible buzzword to talk about, really, Night Creeper leader. But they made a point to allow it to slip off their tongues, guys, in a live stream with a demanding consumer base. Okay, so we have to believe that at least when they did the Night Creeper, that they had a plan for that Night Creeper leader, the Cobra Ninja Supreme Master, whatever, right? So when we talk about how they slipped that Frag Viper release in there as a name-only reveal, I can't help but feel like there's a little asterisk next to the words Night Creepers that says leader TBD, but expected, just based on that joke. Nobody talks about that shit. But anyways, the steel core helmet, the reason it's relevant is, like I said, I was watching Bobby Vala on It's Chad last night, and now I see what people have been telling me. Yeah, that's a man with a lot of confidence in his line and product, but I don't know necessarily if that confidence translates to every aspect of how he talks about it. I see a lot of debate where there possibly doesn't need to be debate between the two lines. We all get the storied history, but at the same time, now you know, success as success is. Why must it pursue? I don't know. I think it pursues because it brings attention, and it brings attention and diehard fans who are polarized and cemented in on an argument. It's just another strategy to me. Nonetheless, that's it for the steel core helmet that I gave him. I'm going to pop it on to his head. But yeah, the little bits are just from... you'll see some decals on the NOS pipes, the breathing apparatus or whatever I call that there. There is some decals there. They're actually cell phone decals from a car, like a 1990s or 2000s car kit where the guy had a car phone. I had matching decals of that, so you can't really see it very well, or you wouldn't notice it as much. I'll try and focus on it when I do a pan out of the character, but we're almost done here. I'll just show you the last couple of things about this and get to the weapon, right? So I did that green and camouflage down, and I did bring the green back that me and Loki were saying was just far too absent on this to be recognizable as Sci-Fi. And there's that head I was talking about, guys. And I did bring in some metallics to bring in that digital whatever's going on with his skin, the dermal subtissue tech or whatever. That's just metallic paints. And then the eyes, though, I also did in a metallic blues and metallic white or something like that. So the eyes, can I get a shot of those? Is that gonna work? Yeah. I don't know if that's really in focus without me doing this. Let's see. I don't know. I got my glasses on, but it's hard for me to see. Yeah, I guess you can see the eyes kind of shine a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's my first time looking at it through a camera lens too, right? Like, so no worries there. But if I pop that head off now and I just go cut chalk, and I take that scarf away, now you can see what I did to try and take away some of that War Machine look from the vest. So I have done a lot of covering over the arc piece. I added some silver strips over that green background to try and keep them looking more themed along that old sci-fi way. Pretty pleased with the helmet. It's a bit darker than maybe it should be. That's why I brought the green back in the cheek area and the side just to say, yeah, not the best fit, but I guess all my costumes, most of them have to use some sort of sticky tack when it comes to head ball joint, gap, and things like that. And then I'm going to just take his weapon off for a second and turn around so you can see kind of what we did with the back, because when you last saw the back, it didn't look anything like this. I hadn't quite gotten to it yet. But the back is a weapon mount bracketing system. Yeah, it's a magnet in there. I couldn't really hide it or tuck it away. But those bracket mounts are, they're a piece of an old Hot Wheels construction car that I tore apart there. And I just rigged it all up with the magnets so that the weapon, there's actually two magnets at play in here. There's one for the hose, which connects just inside in here. And then there's this one for the weapon itself. I'll just mount it again. And the way that the weapon is it means to slide it between these brackets and rest between those ones. So like that. If you can see that. There we go. So that's how I mount his weapon. And then, of course, the cable, which I'll put back now. Cable goes. Are you guys seeing good? Okay. There we go. Cable's on. And now, because of those open clasp hands, I actually don't have much of a hassle at all putting this big honkin' scratch built laser cutter. I picture this as the hiss killer, right? That's what I call it. That's why the icons make sense. The icon, the little stickers on the front there, the decals, are from Warhammer 40k, which is being talked about more and more as Wraith Mason come into the picture and bring that classified group over to see what some of us have been seeing for a while, where the two things can meet in some common joy, right? Toys and things like that. And Joy Toy. Wow, what a product that is. Anyways, that's from it's Dark Eldar stickers, wet transfers, if anyone's wondering which Warhammer 40k army were they from. That's where they're from. And so I've laid two different types of decals over each other to formulate the idea that it is a cobra killing, like his killer, right? So the sword through the cobra head. I did have to trim something off, a couple of them, to make them look more different. But yeah, that's the big old cannon. Yeah, he's got that steel drum, but it's really just like just a metal piece. But really, it's just to mount that up. But I could give it a wash, dirty it up, but I think it sits in fine with it. You know, it's the one piece of shiny kit on there. But I added some targetry decals and what else did we add? Some unit marker on there. It's just the number 3. 3, 3, and 3, blue 3. So the blue 3 is, you know, the Arctic group, I guess. If y'all wanted to justify it, which I don't need to. I never need to. I just choose to, guys. So yeah. You'll find as you get to know me, I'm not afraid to talk about creative process. I just don't think if there'd be an interest in it, but I have been asked about it before, and I find it interesting when certain guys, when they're doing conversions, tell us what they were thinking. So like I said, that's why I've been sharing my end state stuff with you. Sorry to keep the figure down. I just had to get it hooked back up. But this is where the whole, why did Sci-Fi become this Sci-Fi, you know, with the head? It doesn't matter. I don't have to keep the head, or do I have to keep the scarf? The bottom line is I made an Arctic variant of a Sci-Fi figure because I wanted that heavy-duty breaching laser, and I wanted to make one. I love scratch building some stuff, not all stuff, but this I wanted to do as a scratch build, and I really saw a good kit bash in some of the pieces that I had in my stock. So guys, I wasn't happy with how it started. I wasn't happy in the midway point. But towards the end, oh, his hand's pushing that back when it should be behind it. Towards the end, I am more happy with how it turned out. I'm just going to open him up so you can have a look at just kind of the chest again. And those grenades on his belt. That old web belt came with the character. But really, it's that's about all I have to show for it, guys. Under 30 minutes for a video. Now I'm done. Now I'm ready to go to England. I'll come back. I'll finish Blizzard. Get Stalker in the mail at that point with a couple of other things I had ordered from him. Pick up that his 788. Do a review on that. I got big things coming to the channel, and I don't even know half of it. But I do know this. A lot more conversions coming. Gonna finish up that winter theme with Blizzard and Stalker, and then move on to the next crazy ideas I have that I'm pulling out of Joe lore, or I'm putting it into Joe lore for fun, like the Wolverines. So let's put them up on the shelf and call it a night. And I know you guys are wishing me a safe travels. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great time while I'm there. Get lots of Joe news, and just have great weeks. And I will be watching. I'll see what kind of internet I get in England or France, and then I will come back. You'll see me whenever I can out there, guys. But as far as daily content goes, I don't think you're going to see that until I am back on the ground, making more customs and getting those new figs. I am hoping my pre-orders are in. I'm waiting for my airborne and my so many. Anyways, don't forget that like, share, subscribe, guys. Thanks very much, and we will catch you on the next Crow's Customs Corner or Tactical Perspective toy review. Take care.